These are 5 places where people think the Ark of the Covenant is.
Hi everyone, so I have a genuine question for you. Will you be able to identify racism if you saw it? The reason I asked that question is because in the last 2 decades, the definition of racism has fluctuated depending on the group of people the left wanted to attack or silence. And over time, we've seen the word lose its original import because it was constantly abused, primarily by Democrats. Remember when you heard that math is racist, or that the master bedroom in your house is a vestige of slavery, or many other absurd contentions? One thing the left does very well is political misdirection. While they go around labeling everything as racist, lurking beneath the surface is what, as an immigrant, I see as true racism. And the following montage I'm about to show you is a perfect case in point.
Why are you shipping these immigrants up north? We need them to pick the crops.
Food is not reaching our table because those who pick the crops have been removed.
I mean, you're going to have vegetables rotting in the fields.
Our vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many illegal immigrants.
If you think your groceries are expensive now, wait until the farms are empty.
If you look at the food that's on your table, think about who picked it.
It's going to deport 20 million people, the people who pick your crops.
They come with regularity from Mexico usually to work in the fields.
Those immigrants that come into our country, they work the fields, something that we ain't done in a long time.
I can't wait until American women can't get blueberries for their smoothies.
Good news, Red States. You can now pick your own fruits and vegetables in the blazing hot sun for $5 an hour.
The people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants.
What's going to happen here is that milk gets a lot higher, because I don't know if any of you have ever been in a dairy farm. It is god-awful work.
I have no...
If I can't pull up and be peculiar, don't even send that invite. My swag is bewildering.
Africa, white people are calling themselves Africans and they don't even look it. That's some gangster shit, don't you think? I'm from South Africa. No, you're not. You're Dutch. You just didn't know when the fuck to leave.
Okay, first it was the Americans need South African situation, and now it's this. I'm getting tired of this. So, white South Africans are African. Yes. What, you shocked now? You shocked? Yes.
With these Klans members calling harm on Caitlin Clark.
Farrell on The View basically said the United States in 2025 is not as bad as Iran in 2025. And Whoopi Goldberg said, not if you're black. Not if you're black. Then you got Sunny on the side co-signing what she says. Are you kidding me? Whoopi, you are a multi-millionaire black woman sitting on national television, comparing what it is like to live in Iran versus being black in America. That should tell you right there the difference between Iran and living in America. The freedom that you have to even express that.
Let me hold your hand when I say this. We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other country.
So you think it's better? If worse is down here, and best is up here, right? If your country's right here, a little less worse would mean a little better. But she wasn't done. Let's let her continue.
You're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above.
All those things, yet you still come to choose to build a life here. All those things are so good, but yet you still choose to move. Interesting. Let's let her continue.
We just move here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families.
What kind of mental contortion does it take to go from chanting women life freedom to defending the Islamic Republic, the very regime that beat Mahsa Amini to death over a strand of hair? Waving Palestinian flags wrapped in keffirs, they gather in Berlin, London, and Toronto under slogans stolen from our dead. Women life freedom, yet not a single lion and sun flag inside. No Iranians inside, but Western leftists, Arab Islamists, ideologues, and opportunists. None of these morally rotten frauds mourning our pain. They don't care about the execution of our brothers and fathers.
And my brothers, I came across so many lives where if I disagree with you, I'm your enemy now. You still my brother. You still my sister. I just disagree with you. That's all that is. That's it.
So you mean to tell me these motherfuckers in South Africa is basically doing apartheid in reverse?
Lions, shoot to kill, Hamasa, kill the poor.
Attention has been on the Los Angeles riots and every other riot in the United States. Do you know what's happening in Mexico? Oh, you haven't heard that Mexico is protesting against their illegal immigrants? Even Mexican protesters are holding up signs that say, get rid of the invasion, stop the invasion, take the illegals back to their country. That's not all. Many of these illegal aliens showed up to Tapachula's migrant shelters. Many of them had visas, asylum claims, and CBP-1 appointments. But allegedly, during their routine sweeps in places like Tizayuca and Hidalgo, Mexican authorities would begin to round them up, Cubans, Haitians, Venezuelans, etc., detaining them for lacking proper entry approval. Oh, the level of hypocrisy of Mexico. They're not just throwing them into vans, they're filling up flights, they're putting them into cages. Even some videos circulating of these children and their parents claiming that the Mexican government is mistreating them behind closed doors, not feeding.
You want to know what gets me every time I speak on a black on black or black on white crime? Is when black women in particular hit my comment section like, wow, it be your own kind. Tell me something new, bitch. Cause standing at 6 foot, 220 pounds, I carry around a Glock. You think it's for white people? No, I carry that bitch around for my own kind. Do you wanna know why? Cause some fucking white guy ain't gonna look at a 6 foot, fucking 200 plus pound black dude with dreads and think, huh, he got some nice shoes on. Let me go get that up off of him. Oh, he got a nice watch on. Let me go get that up off of him. It be your own kind. See, for them people, they don't care that much. But for my own kind, when I rock clothes that doesn't have a brand name on it or a name at all, they fucking laugh at me and say I'm broke. But when I rock some nice shit that got a brand name on it, then they instantly start plotting on how to take my shit. See,
check on the millennial eldest daughter, and I'm gonna tell you why. These women are otherworldly. And when I say they're otherworldly, I mean these women are amazing, but they are exhausted. And they're exhausted because they are literally on autopilot. I don't know a millennial eldest daughter right now that isn't about to crack under pressure. And hear me, they are aware that they're exhausted. They're aware that they are tired. They are even aware of all the things that they are managing right now. But what they aren't aware of is what it's costing them to do it all.
Don't have a chronically messy room because you're neurodivergent. You're just fucking lazy. And some of you aren't able to maintain your focus, not because you're ADHD, but because you have bad habits and you don't have the intention or willpower to change those habits. I don't know why it became so sexy to self-diagnose all of these disorders that actually people do struggle with every day, but a lot of you don't have them. A lot of you don't. You're just fucking lazy and you don't want to change.
Admit your mistakes, apologize to your children when you're wrong. Show them that you have that accountability, because that's the same thing you would ask them to do if they had an outburst. You know, lead by example in a lot of those things.
Americans be getting scammed more than anybody else. Apple is getting sued by the Department of Justice for basically scamming. The Department of Justice says that Apple's subpar product has made Americans think that they're the only good product by basically doing predatory practices, such as when you get an Android picture, iPhones purposely make the quality lower. When you see that green text, it secretly plants in Americans' minds that, oh, Androids must just be cheap. Since I'm getting cheap stuff from them all the time, I'm going to keep buying the same iPhone over and over and over again. Apple's defense is the whole world knows we suck. You can't call us a monopoly because we don't sell that much considering the whole world. We just sell a lot in America because we're scamming Americans, not the entire world.
I'm down at the dock and someone left their goddamn dogs unattended in the water. It looks like they're struggling.
Goodwill yesterday, and the clerk said, "Are you a rewards member?" And I said, "No." And she said, "What?" And I said, "No, I'm not." And she said, "I'm sorry, I don't hear very well after working in factories all my life." And I said, "What kind of factories?" And she said, "I was a welder for 14 years, and then I worked at a meat packing plant. You name it, I've done it." And I said, "What was your favorite?" And she said, "Oh, the welding." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, I met my husband there, and when you're welding, nobody knows who's behind that mask, and everybody treats you the same." I said, "All right." She said, "I miss it, and I miss him. But now I'm here, and my kids want me to retire, but I like it here. They're flexible. I can still go see my granddaughter play her softball games." And she reached under the register and pulled out a picture, and it was her granddaughter. And she said, they had a softball tournament last weekend, and they came in second place. And I said, "Oh, that's great." I said, "So why don't you retire?" And she said, "What am I going to do? Sit home alone and do nothing? Plus all my friends have seen the pictures of my granddaughter. I can show someone else." And she laughed, and I walked out. And strike up a conversation, folks. Our memories are all in there.
Came out in the 90s, I think it's Bill Strauss was the name, talked about the cycles of repeating history that society goes through. And because of the way everything times out, millennials are supposed to be the one generation to guide society through a very tumultuous time, a very big turning point in society. I just watched a lady do a video on this, and she was like, well, where are the millennials? They all seem crashed out, burned out, and they don't want to participate. And she goes on to say, well, you know, they are looking at crumbling institutions and a lifetime of unprecedented events. Sure, but let me weigh in on this. As a 1985 make and model of the millennial generation, I feel like I need to tell y'all, we were always meant to unplug it. We're not going to be the heroes that saved the previous iteration and bring back some like golden era that the boomers remember. No, man, we were always meant to unplug it. Because yes, there's the trope that boomers don't want to relinquish control, they're not retiring, they're not stepping down from positions. That's true, that's accurate. And there's also the other one where one income got to bring in all of the monies. One person works, one person stays at home, raises the kids. And not only that, it paid all the bills. You had a car and a camper, and you got to go on vacations with the fam, pensions and 401ks, a gold watch on your retirement. Yeah, that's part of our frustration too, because it's not like that for us, but we're the lazy ones. Go to college, they say. Yeah, I know a ton of millennials who graduated with degrees who were actually using them, sure. I'll put it like this. I was 14 when I saw The Matrix, and I know some people cringe at The Matrix. Go away. I was a changed kid when I walked out of that movie theater because this whole question reality, anti-establishment, like it's everywhere now. You see it on the internet and your phone, and you see it in video games and Netflix specials and movies and all that. It's everywhere. But The Matrix was a cultural phenomenon because like you didn't see media like that a whole lot back then in 1999. It's always been about unplugging the system.
What was that?
Is there a black person here?
What did you just say?
I said, is there a black person here?
Do you have a question?
Yeah. Is there a black person here?
Chit, why are you asking that?
Janice said there was one in here. Came to check.
There's a white person here too.
Well, I don't need one of those. Mm-mm.
Chit, please stop what you're doing.
What's the big deal? I'm just trying to find the black person here.
Well, you found her. Okay, you got her today. Okay, let me see. Let me set my sparkling down.
Oh, here it is. Got it.
Chit, are you saying is there a black purse in here?
Yeah, success. I like your haircut, Linda.
Thank you, Chit.